Now I want to go to some good news. It's actually better than good news. It's bloody brilliant. Last year I introduced you to Scottish migrant Mark, his wife Kelly and their daughter Rebecca. Mark came here, they all came here to fill a skills gap in the solar panel installation industry. And through no fault of his own, with an employer going broke and mucking up the paperwork, he was threatened with deportation. Both Mark and his wife have worked all through this period while they've battled to stay here. They've paid $8,000 a year to send their daughter Rebecca to a government schools, and they've spent over $100,000 on legal bills, all because they love this country. They want to keep working here and contributing, and they're desperate to make a life here. While they've fought desperately as legal immigrants to stay, we've seen, of course, the Albanese government let in the ISIS brides and open the door to citizenship for 20,000 people who came here illegally by boat. And even the Billa family were able to stay despite losing all their court battles. Yet here was the Green family who came here legally and just wanted to stay. Here's what Mark told us July last year.
I've been here for 10 years. I've been working, paying tax. I've never done anything illegal here. Neither has any of my family. And we have just been passed through employer to another employer to another employer, just with companies going into liquidation.
Well, we told you recently about good news of a 3-month extension, but Mark and his family, the Greens, have finally got the outcome they want. Permanent residency is theirs. The battle is over to stay in Australia. Mark joins me live from Adelaide. I tell you what, Mark, you must be thinking, I know you've driven a long way across Australia today, you must be thinking, you bloody little ripper.
The news couldn't be any better than it is, you know. Friday we received the news about permanent residence, and we were all thrilled, ecstatic, over the moon, you know, overwhelmed. Absolutely fantastic news, brilliant.
So it means you can stay where you are, you can both keep working, yourself and Kelly, your wife, and your 20-year-old daughter, Rebecca, can go to university. She's qualified to go to university, but hasn't been allowed to.
Yeah, that's correct. She can now start her career, and she can continue what she loves best, going into aged care or through paramedics. And Australia is her oyster now, so it couldn't be any better. It could not be any better.
Well, she spent half her life here. Just give us briefly a sense. I mean, I know the enormous frustration, but what's been so admirable about you and your family is through that frustration and uncertainty, you've continued to work and pay your taxes and do everything you had to do. The load off your shoulders and the optimism about the future now must be enormous.
Oh, it's overwhelming. It's absolutely overwhelming. The stress relief that has lifted off our shoulders just in the past couple of days is absolutely fantastic. Just knowing that my daughter can now actually start her life and start her career, and knowing that we can actually start getting into a little bit of debt by getting a mortgage, you know, it's fantastic. It's brilliant.
Now tell us about how Australia compares to Scotland. We don't want you to run down Scotland, but tell us what it is about Australia that you love and why you're so desperate to stay here.
It's very outdoors here. I mean, you've got the weather here. You've got the beaches here, you know, and Scotland's a wonderful, wonderful place, but it's cold all the time. You know, every day is absolutely freezing. So it's a better opportunity here for my daughter and for us as well, you know. So it's just fantastic. We love Australia, and we're so happy with the outcome that's happened. It's absolutely brilliant, and it wouldn't be possible at all apart from the help, the support, and everybody that's helped us along the way. It's just been awesome. Absolutely
fantastic.
Awesome.
Well, I've got to tell you, Mark, I often think of my deceased grandparents and then coming out from Ireland and how my family have all benefited so much from that, their search for a warm, optimistic future. So it's so great to see your family getting it now, and congratulations to the way you've just been so respectful and diligent in pushing for this, and I'm so great you get to stay here, and I'd love to have a beer with you in Adelaide sometime. Well done, Mark.
Thank you very much. You've got my number.